DFW, it's Tina and
Luna
from Real Dallas Properties. We are your hosts for our new podcast called The Real Dallas Life. Today we have a special guest with us. He is Jorge Madrid. He is our preferred lender, and we are so glad to have him here today. He's going to go over a lot of topics on how to apply for a home, the credit score game, everything that goes into play with buying your home.
He is so knowledgeable and he's so patient, bilingual. I mean, you're the whole package, to be honest, when it comes to lenders.
Jeez. You can't see me blush, but I'm blushing right now. No, I'm very grateful to be here, first and foremost. Thank you for having me. Lending isn't always the sexiest thing in the world. When I tell people I'm a loan officer, it's not that exciting, but it's very rewarding as far as the people that you can help. So I'm happy to be able to help the people that you guys allow me to. I actually was never a finance major or wanted to be in something like mortgage loans. But what attracted me to it was the opportunity to help people. I knew growing up that I wanted to make a difference in people's life and mainly the underserved community. So I just figured if I can help people get into homes and help people achieve the American dream when they thought it wasn't possible, I mean, I think that's what really drove me to get into it. And
it's touching, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. Sounds a little cheesy, but that's what it is. And I think the reason I'm as successful as I am, I'm not saying I'm, the best ever to have originated a loan, but it's the passion.
Pretty damn good. That's what
it's the same reason you guys are so awesome. It's because you do it with a passion.
Yeah, toot our horn, we'll toot ours.
Yeah. I got you. So it's just with that passion that fuels you and then is transmitted in every deal that you do, I think. So.
Yeah, and the great thing about Jorge is that even as far as he's come, like how much success he's had, he's still the one that like talks to every client. Like there's no, like he has an assistant, you have an assistant, right?
Yeah.
And a whole team, but like you're still the one that's like in the loop of every deal, which I feel like is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's really important. There's a lot of businesses and industries that are moving towards a more automated process, right? Where it's easier, and especially with millennials wanting everything with instant gratification. But I don't think mortgages are there yet. I don't think that you should have such an automated process when it comes to mortgages. It's like going to your doctor or going to an attorney. You don't just type in a few data entries and then it pops out a result. Every person is different, especially people that are starting their own businesses or the underserved that aren't educated on the cookie cutter way to do things. So you need someone that knows the business, and thankfully I've been doing it for 12 years, so I know a little bit. Yeah. So I'm able to, I want to be at the forefront of each deal. So yeah.
And what's great about working with Jorge is that us being realtors, we have such a great communication with him. I mean, we can text him and be like, hey, I just sent you somebody. Can you let me know what's going on with their file? And he responds so fast. Like,
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's like great about having someone that you can work with one-on-one, because there's that relationship there so that you guys can follow up and follow through, and there's no hiccups. You don't have to wait around for, this stranger lender that tells you that he's going to get your plan approved in 24 hours and it becomes like 3 days. So,
and the thing with real estate is even if there are hiccups, which usually there is some kind of something that decides to pop up, the best thing is knowing that like if like the world is falling apart and the deal is falling apart, that Jorge's going to like answer the phone. How many times I've had a situation where it's like, oh, sorry, it's a Saturday or Sunday, like the lender, like you can't even try to get in contact with them before Monday, and then like your client is panicking, we're panicking. No, it's like we have like a relationship with you where we know we can depend on you and rely on you, and that makes it like
so much
the
easier.
World's difference.
Yeah, it really is.
I think accessibility in this industry is key, because it's not a 9-to-5 based job. Our jobs are based on people's personal time, right? When we go to work, it's mainly we're trying to get to their personal time, the time that they're spending with their family, because they're looking for homes. They're trying to get their personal life in order, and that's where we step in. So we have to be able to be reached, and a lot of companies, I'm not going to name any names, but it rhymes with block it, blorges. you get this fast pre-approval, but then you can't reach anybody, right? So it doesn't do you any good to be pre-approved whenever you actually need that person. And
and with this market being so crazy, like if we go show 10 houses and there's a price change and we need a pre-qual letter, we can't wait around till like 2 weeks, because right now offers are going crazy. Like yesterday I showed a house and there was a huge line outside, so there's no way we can work with someone that we can't communicate with daily and hourly, whatever, So.
Yeah, and it's not, there's no blueprint, because we're seeing this for the first time. I mean, DFW's been busy for a long time, but it hasn't been like this, right?
This is like sickening.
Yeah. So as you're dealing with it as a consumer, for the first time, we are too, but you have to want to go to work and be accessible.
So what do you feel like to the first time home buyer that's like completely clueless, has no idea, has never even applied for this kind of type of loan? What do you feel like your top 3 tips to them would be, like, to get ready to apply?
That wasn't a question I was prepared for, but I got you. I think number 1, you should protect your credit, but not so much that you don't see if you're qualified. I think people a lot of times don't want their credit ran because it'll drop their score, but they don't even know how much it'll drop their score. They've just heard it drops their score, so they don't want to know. But planning to buy a home, I think it starts with applying for a mortgage. And it's not, looking for homes first, which is the most easiest and attractive thing to do,
Everyone
right?
thinks that,
Right? So you go looking for homes and then think about the money. Don't worry about the 5 to 7 points that your credit is going to get hit, because your loan officer should be able to tell you how to recuperate those points. There's technology out there that we can actually type in what you need to pay down on a credit card, and it'll simulate your score. So there's just a bunch of awesome technology that helps us not only recuperate those points, but helps you propel yourself forward to get a much higher credit score, which in turn is a much lower interest rate. So apply with time. Make sure that even if you're not buying in 6 months, go ahead and apply and see what you're approved for, and then from there you can take a look at
game plan, right?
Yeah, and take a look at the houses that is in that price range, because you may be surprised. You may have done something on your taxes that impedes you from being approved for the neighborhood that you want to be in. So check it out, especially now that it's tax season, and you can do something about it right now. So that's number 1. Number 2 is down payment assistance is available for a lot more people than you would think. So another reason why people don't apply is because they think they have to get 20%, to put down. That's not true, and it hasn't been true for a really long time. But for some reason, that's still out there, and you can put as little as 3% down, and sometimes you don't have to put anything down because of the statewide down payment assistance. And so number 3 is just vet your professionals, because during this crucial process of your life, some people buy one house in their life, but go with the first real estate agent they see on Zillow. Right? Vet your realtors. You guys have an amazing team here, and just because you're newer doesn't mean that you guys aren't amazing, right?
You gotta shop around, right?
Right.
Just for a car.
They have to find you, and they will eventually, because like I said before, it's the people that put their lives into this. There's a lot of people doing it part-time. Do what you gotta do, but there's professionals out there that take this job very seriously, and just vet them. Yeah, like you guys. And you just got to find those. So ask the right question. Ask as many questions as you want. Test them for their accessibility. It sounds crazy, but it's going to come in handy later on. If you talk to a real estate agent and they don't answer back or they don't call you back, it's a telltale sign to what will happen later on. Or a lender, if you're only talking to the team and not the actual loan officer, it's going to be a sign for the future.
Right.
Yeah. So those are my top 3. Just make sure you apply, regardless of whether it'll hit your credit or not. Number 2, down payment assistance is for everybody. So just see if you qualify. And then number 3, vet your professionals. Make sure that you're being helped by the best. So yeah.
We are the best.
Yeah, the best. Yeah. AKA you guys.
What else is there specific things you want to like touch on?
I think that as a consumer, as a first-time home buyer, there's a lot of things to look forward to. There's a very, it can seem very daunting at times to buy a home. But I think if you keep each step that's ahead of you as the only step to accomplish at that point, and just worry about that first step and then that next step and then that next step, I think your process of buying a home is going to be much smoother than someone that's trying to understand everything at one time. I mean, there's a reason that you hire professionals to help you buy or sell your home. They know the process like the back of their hands. So I always say that stress is created from the combination of a lack of time and lack of knowledge. So whenever you don't have time and you don't have the knowledge to understand something, that's where you get stressed. And when you just take it step by step, like for instance, getting pre-approved first is crucial.
Very important.
Knock that out of the way. Make sure that you've turned in all your documents to your lender. Make sure you're completely pre-approved, and then start looking for a home. And then after you find the home, you have, like inspection, things like that. And then after after the option period and you're going to buy that home, then start looking for an insurance agent, things like that. Don't try to cram everything into one just because you're nervous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my advice is take it step by step and let the professionals do their job, because you do need to trust them. Even though you may not know them, you do need to trust them.
Right.
So.
Okay, Jorge, for anybody that is watching this at home and is now inspired to want to apply for a loan and see what they can qualify for, how can they do that?
First of all, if I inspired you to buy a home, if we inspired you to buy a home, you're welcome. It's a huge, huge investment, and we'd be very happy to help you. But it's a 2-part question. We love for people to call us or us call them and us take the application over the phone so that we get to know them. Like I said before, we're not just here an automated service that just pops out a result. We want to get to know the individual and see what you're coming from a financial standpoint, from an asset standpoint, everything. So we want to know who we're talking to so that we can better serve you. But we do have an online application. The website's themadridbranch.com. I work for Supreme Lending, and we have our own office, and it's the Madrid branch.
We will link all of his details, and you guys can find him. So don't worry about that. Well,
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jorge,
My
for
pleasure.
coming and being our guest on our podcast. It's been so awesome to see you in this environment and get to work together like this. Yeah. We hope that everyone enjoyed this episode and learned a little bit about the lending and mortgage process. If you need anything mortgage related whatsoever, Jorge Madrid is your guy. He will take great care of you.
All right, DFW, we are signing off down here from the Deep Ellum District. Have a wonderful day. I don't know. All right, we're done.
Catch you next time.
Cool. Deuces. That was awesome.